Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various wind here for the Escape to the Sun tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the ultimate tournament guides by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. You can find the info box on the right hand side of the game screen where I show you the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Number 1, we are going to play just over the bunker and the rough, using 6 bars of topspin and 3 bars of side spin to the right. So as you can see here now, we are looking to have the second bounce approximately 1 ring above the rough, and we're looking to get the ball to be somewhat around right side of the two top bushes that we do have on the game screen. Adjustment maximum distance plus 20, even though we are not in complete maximum distance. Great ball unfortunately, but it will still work. You can see we're bouncing nicely on the fairway over the rough, and then we will roll up to the right side of the 2 bushes there. Obviously with a perfect ball we would be having a little bit better line. 358 is a good yardage, and from there we will be playing somewhat very close to medium distance of our club. And here the value with this type of play that we're having here compared to trying to push the drive harder is that we do have almost a straight tailwind towards the pin. So no spin whatsoever here, and I'm trying to look for spots on the fairway that is, you know, flat, so it doesn't really affect the ball if we just are slightly off. Adjustment, club distance with 10% over adjustment, which means that you check, you go to minimum, you go to maximum, you check what club distance you're in, and then you apply 10% elevation, and then it's gonna be fine. So even though it says birdie, but it was a drop for hole number 1, which is, in my opinion, a very important hole, as it is hole number 1, obviously, which can boost the confidence, but also how the wind is applied is a very good. Number 2, we will find absolute minimum distance, and here there is great advantage in playing with the quarterback level 9 or level 10. But I do have a backup if you do not have the quarterback level 9 or level 10. Max backspin, 1 bar side spin to the right, and we are using a Marlin ball here, actually. Weirdly enough, from second tee. We are aiming to the right side of the pin, and now with the quarterback we adjust 1 to 1. Meaning we adjust max plus 5 power 2 numbers, which is the same as adjusting 7.6 rings for 7.6 miles per hour. Perfect ball, and we see it bounced nicely on the fairway, and it comes in with a perfect speed but just barely missed to the right side of the cup. What do we have to do here to get this ball to drop? We need to move just a little bit left. If you go back and look how my position with the ball guideline were, you can see that I have the tip of the ball guideline in the middle of the green square. You need to move that one to be 1/3 into that green square, and then I think this is going to be absolutely money. Those of you not being able to play with the quarterback level 9, level 10, use the rocket. You can use the rocket level 9 or 10. Have in mind, if you're using the rocket level 9, use max backspin. If you're using the rocket level 10, you cannot use max backspin, then you're going to have to replicate the backspin amount that is shown here on the video. The shot is easier with the quarterback due to its ball guideline for setting up the shot, but again, this is a tough par 3, and I'm very pleased with the line that we're having here. Hole number 3, I would consider this to be a very good opportunity if you can get the drive as far up the fairway possible here, meaning that if you do have a driver with 6 bars of topspin or better, this is going to be perfect for you. Use the driver with the most topspin possible, aim for the ball guideline to be straight down the fairway. Here I will be adjusting maximum distance plus 10, but I do get saved by hitting a bad great right. So I would go with max plus 20 here for this adjustment to compensate, like to make sure that we are not going to go into the rough with a great left. The ball rolls down the fairway nicely, and now we're going to have a choice. We are either going to go with a rough bump from distance, which I will do as I do have the distance towards it and the wind is perfectly in terms of crosswind. If you do not feel comfortable with the rough bump, you bounce before the rough in the sand and bounce towards the pin, which will be more difficult to drop, but it could be that you get just dead bounces with your drive, and it could be that you just don't feel comfortable aiming for a thin rough like that, even though there is crosswind, and then obviously back up, bounce towards the pin, like minimize the chance for an albatross, but yeah, like make sure that you to 100%, no matter what wrong you do with your adjustments, you will still receive yourself an eagle. Perfect ball, and we'll see the ball carrying away, bouncing into the rough nicely, and it rolls nicely towards the pin. I like the speed, but we're coming too much to the right, so we need to deduct a couple of decimals from our adjustment there. So 394 was the yardage, and then as already explained, we need to deduct a little bit from the second shot so we can get the ball to drop. I would say this is a very good chance making an albatross here from distance. For hole number 4, I will show you two shots, one with the sniper and one with the guardian. I'm gonna explain why in just a bit. Starting with the sniper, top of the blue ring by the start of the fringe, max backspin, and once you have done that, you change to max backspin half a bar of left spin to have the ball guideline left of pin. You don't have to do the switch if you rather want to go directly at the offset, but to be able to get the correct offset all the time, it's easier to use max backspin, aim for the pin, and then add the side spin. Again, we try to make it as easy as and also as possible to replicate here. Max plus 20, power 1 ball. You can see here we get that ball to go just inside the hole, but I've dropped this one a couple of times more here with the ball with the same type of adjustment, so I must have been under adjusting slightly when it comes to this shot here on the video. So max plus 20, power 1 ball. Let's look at the guardian, which is not gonna be this video, which is gonna change to the one that is this one, and we will be having guardian level 8 here. 6.8 bars of backspin, which is the same as the maximum backspin on sniper 9 and 8. Half a bar of side spin to the left, as I do not have the same good amount of ball guideline that I do have on the sniper, then I will be going for the offset right away. The third bounce or like the ball guideline to be just left of cup, and you can see there that we do have the third bounce approximately 1 green square before the pin. 7.1 with max plus 20 power 1 is gonna be 7.3 with the guardian level 8. Perfect ball, and we see this ball traveling away and bouncing nicely on the fairway, and it slows down. This one gets on the left side of the pin, but I will take it. And you may be wondering, why do I show you one with sniper and one with guardian? Is it just to show off? Yes. No, it's not. It is because there will not be a possibility to do the same shot with sniper level 8 and below. So for those of you playing with a lower level sniper, you should be having a guardian unlocked, which means that with the guardian, looking at the club stats, you will be able to have the amount of backspin needed even from level 1. So that's why I wanted to show you both, and obviously both will be in the guide. Hole number 5, we will be playing straight down the fairway, and we will stay away from using the right hand side, and I will show you that, and I will show and talk about that in a bit. Here I'm using 1 bar of side spin to the right. I'm also in that case using 3.8 bars of top spin. Have in mind that that is maximum with the rock level 7, which is not maximum with the rock level 8 or level 9. Starting at plus 15 with the rock, and that will not be the same as the rock level 8 and 9 as well. The difference is 5 yards to the rock level 8, so starting at plus 15 with the rock level 7 would equal the rock level 8 to be starting in plus 10 and the rock level 9 in plus 9 to get the correct distance. It is otherwise difficult for us to get the same distance all the time. 348 is a good yardage. Second shot, we're going to use our Goliath. Why the Goliath instead of the Grizzly? It's because we do have the power with the Goliath that will work in our favor. With a Grizzly, we will most likely see ourselves going in between clubs if we're not getting the distance correct, and we do not want to gamble with that. 1 bar of side spin to the right, 1.5 bar of backspin, and we're looking to have the ball guideline to the hole with Goliath level 8, level 9. With Goliath 7, we want the ball guideline to be just short of pin because it does have a worse ball guideline than Goliath 8 and 9. 5.8 miles per hour, and we will be adjusting this shot for maximum distance with a 50% over adjustment. Yeah, that is a lot. But in the end, being able to play and have the first bounce into the rough and then roll towards the pin will increase your chances getting this shot to drop more than, I would say, going to the right hand side and play that with a wood club. So Goliath, use a Kingmaker ball to reduce the wind as much as possible, as to still keep it free to play. And remember, the 50% over adjustment maximum distance from 348 was just barely missing the cup on the left hand side, so 1 extra decimal. So to give you the complete adjustment from 348 yards, you play max plus 50 and add 1 decimal, so 0.1, then you should be getting that one to drop in a nice way. For hole number 6, we're gonna play the toughest of the par 5s and the holes in this tournament, in my opinion. And when we then get headwind, it's gonna make it even more difficult. I would strongly recommend you here to play not with a Kingmaker, but play with a Berserker ball. And the reason I would recommend you to go with a Berserker ball instead is due to the fact that we do get the power 5. And even if the wind is going to increase, it's going to make this shot much more makeable to stay on the fairway with lower level drivers. Here you can see I'm using the Thor's Hammer level 6, and I get to play with 3 rings of overpower. A great right almost destroys this drive for me as I get to be very close towards the rough. If I would be playing with a power 3 ball or a power 4 ball, I'm going to have to go with close to max overpower, and that is going to be very difficult to control. So make sure to pick a Berserker ball here for the drive if you have the possibility, but have in mind that you can play with a lower power ball, but you're gonna have to go with more overpower, especially those of you with lower clubs with only 4.5 bars of topspin. You will struggle massively when it comes to the shot here with the drive, regardless what ball you're going to play. Now, second shot, I'm using side spin to the left to move myself away from the rough and the sand on the left. So we just make sure that we're not, even if we do make a bad great, because we have had a couple of great balls already, then make sure to just move ourselves away so we're not going to struggle and at least get the eagle no matter what we are doing. Now, I do play in between medium and maximum distance. So the thing that I would like you to do is to estimate the club distance and then use no elevation towards that. Perfect ball, and we bounce into on the fairway, rolling up towards the pin. Make sure that the ball guideline is clearly through the hole, as it is an uphill way for the ball to take itself towards the cup. But do I expect this one to drop much? No, I don't. Not with this type of wind, as here I do want us to focus on getting the drive just as secure over the rough and the sand possible, so we can lock in the eagle at least here for hole 6. For hole number 7, I'm going to play on the right hand side. This because you can see on the wind angle that we will be having a direct headwind towards the pin, which I do believe is going to be very valuable as this early stage in the tournament. I'm going to start with 3 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and I'm going to look to have a position that's going to be plus 2 yard mark on Apocalypse level 5 plus. If you're playing with any other driver that is below, let's say you play with Apocalypse level 5, you should be starting at plus 8 yard mark instead. The thing that you are going to do is to max plus 20 with your adjustment, no overpower needed. The only reason you would use overpower is if you have a driver that has less power than 240 yards. Then you apply the overpower amount that you adjust into the overpower section. Getting the drive down nicely, 3 to 8. The yardage is not so essential here as we are not playing a linear way to this hole. This hole is somewhat designed to not be able to use the yardage, it feels like. Now, look at my position here. I'm using the inner ring to be just at the top of the rough. 0.8 bars of backspin ball guideline hefty through the hole, but you're gonna notice that we need that because we're gonna drop down to a lower point into the rough, and also the headwind is going to compress I was about to use a curse word. It's going to compress the ball guideline a lot. I'm using medium distance with a 10% over adjustment for this shot based on the drive that I had to 3 to 8. I do feel here that the speed is coming in nicely, but I do think we maybe should have aimed right side of cup, or maybe just added a little bit of side spin to the right. You decide. I do feel that this is something that we could work and tweak to get in the hole in a very nice way for hole number 7. Oh well, the toughest of the par 3s, I'm using the Thor's Hammer or the Rocket here. First max backspin and then ball guideline to be to the hole. It is a bit tricky to find that spot, but I do want you to do that. Once that is done, we should be playing with all but half a bar of backspin. I'm using all but 1 bar of backspin here, but you will notice that we do need a bit more backspin here on this shot. Adjustment's gonna be medium distance plus 45, and have in mind that you do not have to have a Thor's Hammer level 8 to play this shot. Thor's Hammer level 6 plus or the Rocket level 10. And so if you're playing expert, I do expect the majority to have the Rocket level 10 at least. Mid plus 45, as already explained, it bounced too high. And if we would be having a little bit more backspin, we would see that ball having a chance. Reducing 1 bar of backspin from max is a bit too much. Reduce half a bar, I feel we're going to have a good chance. Using a wind ball here is something that I would suggest to do. But this is a very tough par 3 to get any type of consistency on, unfortunately. But hole 9, I will be using the tailwind in our favor here, but I'm not going to try to go blast it here. I'm actually going to try to do a semi layup, and I'm going to explain what that means to me in just a bit. First, we go with 3.8 bars of backspin, 3 bars of side spin to the left, and we're going to aim up, as you can see here, with somewhat half a ring gap between the outer white ring to the left and the sand line. Adjust max plus 10, where we will be pushing up to complete max, and then we will be applying overpower and also curl. You can see that we're applying approximately 1.5 ball of curl to the left. The ball will then travel away and bounce on the fairway beautifully, and we get then over to the fairway and stays nicely. As you can see there that we were sure we had some rings difference there by the rough, but I would recommend to have at least 8 miles per hour playing this shot, and that would be a Titan ball if you have a very low wind with a Kingmaker. Second shot we do play with our sniper, but now we will be able to start on a higher position, because I feel that starting further back is most definitely going to give us a speed problem towards the pin. Now we can control the speed a bit more as we are not playing into that glitch that unfortunately is there by the green. 3 bars of backspin leaving the ball guideline approximately 2 green squares short of pin. And here I'm applying an adjustment that is max +5 if I'm not mistaken. I would, however, would like this one to be max +10 in terms of adjustment here. And that would, in what it looks like, at least based on the result, to be a shot that would be at least closer to getting it to drop. I do believe with this type of wind, again, we're playing a lot this round into the different winds, meaning that we're playing into straight tailwinds and headwinds and such, which I think is very valuable. Even though there isn't that many drops here in this playthrough, it's definitely going to be a lot of stuff that you can, just with minor tweaks, get to drop based on my explanations for the adjustment. Thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various wind here for the Escape to the Sun tournament in Golf Clash the Game. Get the best guides on the market for Pro and Expert, but also for Master, by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also find tour guides on the same platform, linked directly in the description down below. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.